Right now at the top of the hour, we turn first to the firefight in Wears Valley. At last check, that fire is now 85% contained, up from 30% this time yesterday. Black Hawk helicopters with the Tennessee Army National Guard making water drops for a second day. Each of those buckets can hold roughly 600 gallons of water, and helicopters can make roughly 20 drops an hour. They are key to saving homes and knocking down the head of the fire. And tonight we have team coverage of two major wildfires burning in Sevier County. 10 News reporter Cole Sullivan is in Wears Valley and Vinay Simlot near Seymour. First, though, we learned late today the fire in Seymour is 25% contained. In Wears Valley, the Hatcher Mountain fire is 85% contained. Investigators still working to find the official cause of that fire on Hatcher Mountain.
The TBI agents, alongside the Tennessee Department of Agricultural Crime Unit and the Sevier County Sheriff's Office, are investigating the cause and origin of the Hatcher Mountain fire. So we don't have any information on that right now because they're in the process of that investigation.
For the very latest now, we turn to 10 News reporter Cole Sullivan from the command post in Wears Valley. You're hearing some encouraging news, Cole.
John, just spoke with some damage assessment teams off of Hatcher Mountain. They say that they're evaluating the damage from this fire, the Wears Valley, Hatcher Mountain, Indigo Lane fire, all the one fire complex. They say from the epicenter of that fire, they saw something eerily similar to what they saw in 2016. One home that's completely fine, one cabin that's completely fine, and then another that's burned to the ground. The encouraging news, though, more homes appear to be undamaged than those that are destroyed, even as fire officials say containment levels continue to grow. Even as incident commanders say fire containment continues to grow, crews battle new flames along Wears Valley Road. This is a hot spot, the type of fire it may take days to completely eliminate.
As things go now, the fire in Indigo is looking very good. I'm hoping possibly for a transition sometime this weekend.
A transition from forestry oversight to county command will signal the start of a return to normal.
We're at the very beginning of trying to begin the recovery process.
Sevier County Emergency Management Director Joe Ayers says damage assessment crews began work Friday.
Our plan will be to go out and assess the area to make sure it's safe for these individuals to go out to make this assessment. And then our crews will go out and evaluate each house to identify a certain level of damage.
These photos from the Walden's Creek Volunteer Fire Department show pockets of devastation. Burned cars, smoldering porticos, and homes identified only by their foundations. Amid the destruction, positive news from the county mayor.
We have accounted for everyone, and there are no fatalities.
As evacuation zones shrink and cleanup begins, state support arrives for people who lost everything.
To help them as they navigate all of the things that have to be done when you lose your home to a fire.
And those state crews are from the Department of Commerce and Insurance. They're here to help folks as they begin the process of dealing with cleaning up from this devastating fire. I want to bring in my colleague Caitlin Keenahan. And Caitlin, you spoke to one family that watched their longtime business burn.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. They stood in the parking lot, looked up on the mountain, and saw their family business go up in flames. They said although their business may have burned to the ground, they're grateful to still have their lives.
We bought it in 1988, ran it as a bed and breakfast for almost 20 years and closed that and have had it as a nightly rental cabin for almost 14 years.
A family-owned business nestled between mountaintops may not still be standing.
I saw fires all around the place. Through openings in the smoke, could for a few seconds at a time see our whole place go up in flames.
The Vaughn Bryan estate was the main source of income for the Vaughn family. Patrick Vaughn hasn't seen the site in person, but pictures detail the damage.
Yeah, there's another fire truck completely burnt out.
It's all they have to look at after 34 years of work.
I kind of hope to rebuild. I know it'll take years for that to happen, and it's going to really depend on how well the insurance company helps us.
Until then, they're stuck waiting.
Seemed like a bad dream that you hope you could wake up from, but we're still kind of in the middle of it.
Just waiting for those insurance claims to be filed and hopefully go through. One of the big things is that people that have damages to their home, you are able to file an insurance claim. We have a full list of resources that you can find on WBIR.com. John?
Caitlin Keenahan with the very latest, and our hearts break for those folks and many others in Sevier County. We're going to turn to that second major wildfire near Seymour. It sits in the hills of Millstone Gap. Fire bosses say at the moment it isn't a threat to homes. 10 News reporter Vinay Simlot joins us with the very latest on the effort to contain that fire. And Vinay, they made some headway today.
They did. After overnight, that fire really kicked up. People who were in the evacuation zone told me that they got knocks on their door at 1 o'clock in the morning telling them they had to leave. We actually saw where this fire started. This house got scorched, planters melted. The fire chief thinks it may have started from a downed power line. We went for a ride along with the chief, and he showed us it's a rural area, not a lot of room for fire trucks to move around. They've called in the North Carolina hotshots and their brush trucks to get around the area.
We are what you would consider the elite of our firefighting group. They are physically trained to endure long stretches of firefighting, and they are our specialists.
Now, there are still some hot spots on this mountain. Crews have fought this fire through the air, loading up buckets of water on helicopters and dropping it on the mountain. The good news so far is that this fire is 25% contained. It's about 575 acres. But the fire chief told me that this fire is mostly out, and the only total loss in this fire was that house that you saw, the first one to start the fire, John.
Vinay Simlot with the very latest from Seymour. Thank you, Vinay. And as we've seen from the live shots today, Todd, our temperatures are reasonable and our winds are down. That combination is certainly helping fire crews make some headway today on the firefight. And you have a view as well from a wider picture of both fires burning in the Sevier County area.
Yeah, of course, you notice the blue skies and not a lot of wind. Just look at the tree. Winds are calm at the airport, but I can tell us straight here, and John, you pointed this out as well a moment ago. You can see, first of all, to our far left, this is our airport Alcoa Highway camera. We've turned around. This looks like smoke plume from the Seymour fire in the northern part of Sevier County. And then behind the tree a little bit, there's a little bit more of the haze, thankfully not as much as we've seen the last couple of days, from the Wears Valley fire. So our airport Alcoa Highway camera kind of capturing those views. And one other point to make here is the winds today have been kind of more of a northwesterly direction. So some of that smoke, and you see our temperatures in the 50s, some of that smoke blowing a little bit more toward Gatlinburg, and continuing to see that a little bit more of a haze in the mountains. Now, coming up, we do have a frost and freeze advisories across our region with a cold night ahead. That forecast just ahead, John.
Look forward to it, Todd. Thank you. And you may have seen this photo online. It shows two exhausted firefighters taking just a moment to rest after battling those wildfires throughout the night. The wildfire in Wears Valley first picked up on Wednesday, and fire crews have worked long shifts nonstop. Volunteers and city crews rotating through 12 hours of shifts. Video here from that first night from volunteers. That fire grew to about 3,700 acres across Hatcher Mountain. We did see crews from across the state join locals to help save dozens of homes.
The driving force is to help others. That's what we do. You know, obviously first it's our community here in Knoxville, but then it's region. So anything regionally wide that we can help and participate in and make a difference, it's pretty much like going to the Smoky Mountains and hiking for a couple hours while you're carrying a chainsaw and rakes and water and all that stuff on your back. And it's pretty exhausting. So when you can take advantage of downtime of a 30-40 minute nap, it really refreshes you.
Lots of people pitching in to help with food, water, and the essentials. You can find out more ways to help right now at WBIR.com, and more of our coverage in just a bit.